order. Please join me in the pledge of allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much, Pastor Holmes.
Please let us pray. O loving and gracious God, you are indeed the giver of all good gifts, and we thank you today for all your blessings. We thank you for successful outcomes of decisions that will be made. We thank you for all who serve, both the leadership and those who support that leadership. We ask that you bless all of them abundantly, and that they continue to seek your wisdom, your guidance, courage, and strength. Be with them in their deliberations, and always help them to make wise decisions that they make for the good of all. Give us, each one, always integrity in all of our decisions, that we may reflect what is right and good. O Lord, keep us all from short-sightedness and pettiness, which causes so much pain. Help us, each one of us, to make decisions that are for the good, and guard us always from blind self-interest. O dear Lord, grant us, each one, the humility to always seek your will in all that we do and all that we say. All glory be to you, loving God, now and always, through Christ and the Holy Spirit, forever and ever. Amen.
Thank you very much. Amen.
Well, you can stick to the fun part if you like.
That's okay.
Public input, I understand we have at least one person who would like to step up.
Good evening. Thanks for having me here, Councilman and citizens. My name is Jerry Montang. I'm a lieutenant with the McPherson Police Department. I'm here tonight just to introduce myself. I'm not a sales pitch or anything. I've been a police officer for 33 years, and I'm running for county sheriff. It's just something I've been talking about the last few years, and Larry's doing a great job, but there's a few things I think I can improve on. And I graduated from Bethany College. Non-traditional, graduated in 95 from Bethany. Dale Hoffman was my advisor. And basically I came here, if anybody ever had any situations or whatever that the sheriff's department can do to improve things with the police department or the city of Lindsborg, I would be glad to hear it. I'm listed in the phone book in person. So if anybody had any questions for me or any input they would like to see, I would be glad to answer.
Are you an under-sheriff now?
No, I'm a lieutenant with the police
Please,
department.
excuse me.
I've been a person for 26 years.
Good.
I graduated in 95 from Bethany College.
Thank you very much.
That's all I do.
Good luck in your
Thanks.
endeavors.
Thank
Thank you very much. Item 4, amendments to the agenda. Any from council? I have one, under the consent agenda, we're pulling item D off of there. We'll handle that on its own.
B or D?
D is in David. D is in David. So, it's the only one I have. Any others? Hearing none, let's move into the mayor's report. First off, I received from the Lindsborg Community Hospital an invitation to join in a welcome for Greg Lindholm, PA, that is joining the team out there. It's on Wednesday, the 8th, at the J.O. Sunstrom from 5 to 7. All that can make it there, I think it'd be great to welcome Greg to the community and to the family healthcare clinic at the Lindsborg Community Hospital. So those that can make it, please join in welcoming Greg. Also wanted to comment on the cemetery on Memorial Day. I thought it looked really nice. The trains had done a great job, and everybody else that pitched in and helped that get done. And it was just a great weekend out there, and it looked really nice. So I also want to thank Jane Mansell. You know, Jane's out there, I think, every weekend or every Memorial Day weekend, and I don't know if she's the sexton, and she's there to help. And we started digging into our family a little bit, my brothers and sister, And it was really interesting. She was able to pull out the information and do that. And really thank you to both of those groups and everybody else, as I said, that worked on the cemetery. I thought it was excellent this year. Please remember to recycle as much as possible. Today was Recycle Day, and that's been a hot button for me since way back when I was on council. And you go through town and you see some that have blue cards out and some that don't. It's so easy. I'm not sure why anybody wouldn't do it, but if you see your neighbors aren't doing it, talk to them about the benefits of what it does for us and for the earth and everywhere else. With that, I'm going to move on to the consent agenda. What is your desire?
Motion to adopt or approve.
Been motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Roll call.
Kelly. Yes. Betty. Yes. Rick.
Yes.
Corey.
Yes.
David.
Yes.
Emil.
Yes.
Becky. Yes.
The item that was pulled off are the appointments for EMS. I'm going to ask Chief Berger to step forward and introduce our new EMS members and opportunity for us to congratulate them on their passing their test and also becoming part of our EMT force.
We have three tonight that we'd like to have put on the roster for the Lindsborg Ambulance Service. First, Carissa Worthington. Okay. And Carissa lives on West Lindsborg Street. And
Where is she?
West
Sorry, I didn't look up.
The first one.
Yeah.
Okay. The second one is Kylie McGreedy. And Kylie is living in Salina right now, but originally is from Ellsworth. And so she'll be working with our service. And then Stacy Wilson. And for Stacy's been here for a long time,
12 years.
but that's pretty long.
Yeah.
And she lives on South 3rd Street. So they all wanted to join the ambulance service. And they all wanted to join the ambulance service and volunteer and give something back to our community. And for that, we're very appreciative. And so I would like you to approve their appointments to the Lindsborg ambulance service.
Thank you all. Dispatch your test. Is that correct?
Yes.
Congratulations. That's right.
I'll make a motion to approve all three to the EMS. Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion?
I think we need to say even more often what an incredibly important service this is. And we so much appreciate you.
Thank you, David. Any other words? Tim, don't go away. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. I'm going to ask Tim and the three new members to come forward and we'll take a picture here. Don't trip on anything coming up here.
This way first, thank you.
Is Sean not joining this service? Young Sean.
Oh.
He listened on the.
Yeah.
working with Vice Paradise.
Yeah.
Are we close enough?
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Take one more. Put my hand on my stand.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here also. The council really appreciates that. P&Z, Gary?
No report.
Old business none. That I know of. New business, item A, resolution 11-16. Gary?
This is a formality as part of our application, or actually our administration process of the trail grant that was approved by KDOT. It's very similar to the resolution that was adopted in November of last year. We're authorizing the mayor to say that we are going to come up with funding that represents our match of the project. We've talked about that in some budget sessions. This resolution is required to let Bill sign on behalf of the council.
What's your desire?
Make a motion we approve resolution 11-16.
Second?
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Gary, you know, I mean, we still in 17 start date, is that correct?
17, we do engineering, and then we'll start building in 18.
Thank you. Hearing none, roll call.
Becky? Yes. Emo?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Corey?
Yes.
Rick?
Yes.
Betty? Yes. Billy? Yes.
Motion carried. Item 9D, ordinance number 4986. Gary?
This is a request by Auburn Pharmacy to vacate an existing alley that exists and separates their parcels recently purchased on vacant land across from Scott's hometown foods. They intend to build a small 3,500 square foot pharmacy, retail pharmacy facility. Part of their layout and construction will require that they do some modifications. The alley is just in the way, and it doesn't make any sense to leave it there. Although we do have a utility line, an electric utility line that runs through the alley, we asked for an easement that would guarantee our access to that utility line. Bill's reviewed it, he had some comments about it, but found it acceptable otherwise. We're asking you to approve the alley vacate. This is an old subdivision that was platted in 1879, I believe, and it's a very obsolete piece of subdivision work. We don't need it, other than the utilities.
That's included in this, is that correct?
Yes.
Thank you. Ordinance 4986, what is your
I
desire?
move we approve this, I would be second for
Ordinance
that. Ordinance 4986.
Is there a second?
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion on 4986?
I guess my only question would be, none of the neighbors utilize the alley in any way that could it negatively impact the neighbors?
No, I don't believe so. It's been part of a field of soybeans typically. There is no street access from either side. It doesn't look like an alley, it looks like a field with a telephone pole.
Good question. Any others? Roll call, please.
Kelly? Yes. Betty? Yes. Rick?
Yes.
Corey?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Emo?
Yes.
Becky? Yes.
Hey,
Motion carried. Item 9C, ordinance 4987. This is a fee schedule amendment. Will Jerry be speaking about this?
Well, I wasn't prepared to, but I guess I can.
Or Greg?
Or Greg can. Either one.
Jerry passes it to Greg.
Need to amend the fee schedule for court fees during the recent legislative session. The being Kansas legislature adopted the House Bill 2696, which increased the cost that we have to submit to the Commission on Peace Officers Standard Training Fund in the amount of $2.50. Also requesting 50-cent increase in the base court fee from $63 to $63.50. These two increases would increase the court fee from $84 to $87.
What is your desire?
To approve ordinance number 4987.
Do we hear a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve this ordinance 4987. Discussion?
Yes, may I presume that this is to try and get some more funds to balance a budget that doesn't seem to balance and provide yet another pot for our governor to pay bills with? And with the subsequent burden falling people that use airport services?
Tim rises to explain this to us, the governor's thought.
I know that Kansas Seapost for quite some time has made an argument to the state that their computer systems are completely outdated and need to be upgraded. And they had money set aside for that, and the state came in and, what is it when you relocate funds?
Swept.
Sweep.
Reallocate,
Yes,
swept,
They
stole.
They swept their
Stole.
funds. They swept their funds, which didn't solve their problem. And so they're trying to find some way to generate the money to get that system up and running. So that's basically what happened.
So the
Tim,
$2.
before you start there, David, before you,
Oh.
tell me the agency again. Yeah, I didn't get who you said it was.
I'm sorry?
Seapost?
Kansas. Yeah, we call it Seapost.
Seapost?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Which is the Commission on Peace Officer Standard Training.
Thank you.
Again, bailed out by Greg.
But really, this is coming from the state.
Yes.
They are part of the state, that's correct.
Yeah, okay.
This would-
And
this would-
$2.50 raise will balance the state budget, is that what you're saying? Okay, well, I'm in favor of this.
We could either leave it where it is and absorb the fees ourselves, or we could raise it and pass it over.
But it does provide a good example of what happens. The state increases their need and puts the burden on the user, the end user,
And
or the local
I
municipality.
think the key is there, don't get caught.
And it doesn't eliminate sweeping either.
They'll just swing cash for money now.
We need more people to get caught.
That's right.
You know, yes, we do.
Public schools must remain open, speed, so.
May I ask one more question? Do these funds that come in for the municipal courts, Greg?
I'm sorry?
That's right. Do these funds that the city receives from the municipal court pay the costs of the court?
Was this 2 or 3 years ago that we went and did an analysis of fines and fees that we collect, and it comes close to covering the cost of it. Yes.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Jerry?
Yes, we do.
For 4987, any additional discussion or philosophical speak? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Becky? Yes. Eno?
Yes.
David? Yes. Corey?
Yes?
Rick?
Yes.
Betty? Yes. Kelly?
Yes.
Truth is hard to take sometimes. Item 9D, Kansas Travel Guide advertising. Oliver.
I'm going to pass these around to you, make this a little bit easier so that you can see what we currently are doing and why we do it.
Thank you all.
I have some.
The
several
sheets, I give them
boxes.
to you. I was going to say, you have them.
Thank you.
What page? Sure.
Keeps getting a little heavier.
Yeah, they're not too bad. Yes. In the past, and we have partnered with the Department of Wildlife, Parks and Tourism, as it's called now, it wasn't that, maybe a couple years ago, to place a 1/8-page ad in the Kansas Travel Guide. The last time we did this has about 150,000, I believe, issues that are printed a year and go out. Goes out of state, it goes to anyone who requests it, either through the website or through a direct phone call to our office. It also is available in a lot of other distribution areas across the state, including our travel kiosk downtown. So if you have a state-approved travel kiosk, this goes there. Currently, we have been placing a 1/8-page ad. If you turn to page 99, you would see our ad. Here at the bottom, 8-page ad, it's not very big. It runs $1,743 currently. What I wanted to show you though, this past year, after you approved this, I was approached by the McPherson CBB office to ask if we would share space. I wanted you to see that this looks like we still have 2 ads. They sent me their ad and I just partnered it with ours and we sent it in as one. And so we were able to save quite a bit of money per office. If we were to do this year the same way, our cost to us would be $1,468, saving us $275 per office, and that would be my recommendation to do that again. What I really wanted you to see though, as we go into approving this, if you were to start on page 95, this is where the Lindsborg listings begin, and all of these small listings are actually paid for by local businesses that have something to do with tourism, things that you can participate in, purchase things at, lodging, different things like that. This is such a huge part of what we do, and our office has been taking these fees from local businesses. We've been picking those up and putting their entries in over the last month. We feel like though it is necessary for us to do this larger ad because it calls attention to our community as a whole. So we would recommend doing that, but doing that in a cost-effective manner with a McPherson CDBA and share, which they have agreed to, depending upon council's approval tonight.
What is your desire on the advertising in the Trans-Kansas Travel Guide? Please be specific when you make the motion for it.
I was wondering if I needed to abstain since I'm featured on one of the front pages.
Make a motion to approve the recommendation from the director of our CBD to partner with McPherson in order to say, I don't remember the dollar amount, but I'd say.
$1,468.
Recommend the approval of $1,468 to a share ad in the Kansas official travel.
Second. Great, thank you guys very much. I think it's important to get the dollars in
Yes.
James Avery.
there. Discussion.
It looks like we're treated pretty well in other parts of the magazine.
We're treated very well. I feel like my relationship with the woman who was the editor and did a lot of things for Kansas Magazine for this entity was very good. They have a new gal now, and I don't know her as well, and I have noticed just simply because of that, we have not been featured in as many things since she has taken over. So I want to change that.
Here on page 3, we have a good picture of Sam doing the golf courses and a picture of Corey and someone in person. But it's very nice too.
On page 3. Corey, on 3.
Anyway, that's very good.
We could save more money by partnering like this, but I think it's hideous that you don't see our ad. Where we are, we have exceptional placement, and I'm willing to pay another couple $100 to get half. So,
Good discussion. Any further discussion, Corey?
I just like the fact that we're working with our neighbors in the county, and I encourage to continue that. I think it's great if we can work with the person and others like Marquette or others who want to work with us. I think we just want to welcome that opportunity too. Good job.
Roll call, please.
Kelly.
Yes.
Eddie. Yes. Rick.
Yes.
Corey.
Yes.
David.
Yes.
Emo.
Yes.
Becky. Yes.
Motion carried. Item 9E, golf cart lease. Greg, you want to do that for us?
Case, it's the start of youth baseball, softball this evening, so she's at the Diamonds. We lease 10 golf carts from Kansas Golf and Turf for rental at the golf course. It's a 5-year lease. The annual lease amount is $7,500, and would recommend the approval of $7,500 to Kansas Golf and Turf for 10 golf carts.
What is your desire?
I'll make a motion, we approve $7,500 to Kansas Golf and Turf.
Is there a second?
Second.
And moved and seconded, discussion?
Greg, it says down there that there's a $350 lease dock fee one time. Do we need to add that and amend the motion for that?
No.
Okay.
Any other questions?
I'll just ask a question, I guess. Leasing versus owning has numerous benefits, I'm assuming.
We used to own carts, and we would trade out. It was a 1 or 2 a year.
We used to do 2 a year.
2 a year. Then we found, cost-wise, we were spending about the same amount of money, purchasing versus leasing, but we could have better carts with more features to them that became more attractive for renting out. Plus, we don't have the disposal issue we had before.
Additional questions? Roll call, please.
Becky? Yes. Emo?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Corey?
Yes.
Rick?
Yes.
Eddie? Yes. Kelly?
Yes.
Item carried, no executive session. We'll go to department head reports. Holly, we'll start with you.
Well, I wanted to report tonight a little bit on Google Ads. To give you an idea, we decided to spend $300 a month for 10 months on Google Ads. Currently, our highest return has been on things to do, within the keywords. We find that we get about 5 days of ads for that a month. Typically, we've been heading around about 90 hits off of that. It's very dependent upon, I think, the buy-in for those words, how much competition there is for the purchase of those words. This time of year, I'm noticing that if the purchase price is a lot higher, it goes up exponentially, I think, during travel season, probably. So I'm having to bid a little bit higher to get what I want and get the viewing that I want. So, but that's what we're finding right now. And secondly, I wanted to thank you, each of you, for allowing me the opportunity to participate in Leadership Kansas. I went to my first full session this past week, and I enjoyed it thoroughly. I learned a lot. It was very good for me to see multiple things, how different city governments work, and to appreciate what I have here. To know things about my own city administrator, for instance, has a great relationship with the city administrator in Garden City, and those are wonderful things to know as I go out into other communities. I learned a lot about immigration. I learned a lot about hospitality, and just given my other communities and what that looked like. So I really appreciate that opportunity. I've learned a lot, and I think I will continue to. I also wanted to bring to you some things from the Sunstrom. Memorial Day weekend was very busy, as you all know, with 3 weddings. One of them had a parade down Main Street. Fantastic experience for us. Amy said that she worked about 75 hours that week. Just put a lot of time in it. It's very time consuming to get all of that done. We also found out it brought in, helped us be aware of some flaws in our normal system, just because we didn't know what to be prepared for. She said that she did not think about how much trash we would make in 3 days of weddings. So we went ahead and contacted John Hop today to see about what it would cost us to bring in an extra dumpster if we would ever feel the need for that. They filled 3 dumpsters in those 3 events. So we were filling ours, and then we ended up with 2 other city dumpsters that we hauled all the way to. So between $60 and $80 per event is what he said. So we need to look at that and see if that's feasible or not, and if we would need it, how frequently we would really need it. She said she underestimated the scope of work for staff. She said while they managed fine, she would have charged a higher staffing fee and scheduled 3 separate shifts, just simply because we didn't know to do that. We made do with what we had, and staff did an incredibly good job, and Amy did a wonderful job of management. And this was a group that was very often running around and snapping and clapping and saying, get plates, get plates. And she said staff just buzzed around and did what they needed to do without any complaints. So it was really good. So I think that's basically my report for tonight, unless you have any other questions.
Questions for Holly?
No, but I have heard from several of the staff that worked for Holly that weekend, and commended her on what a good job she did, and what,
For Amy.
I'm sorry, yes, Amy, what a good job she did, and how much they enjoyed working for her. They said it was a long weekend.
It was.
All right, thank you very much. We're going to change the order here and ask him to report.
I also read a copy of the letter that the council received last week as regards to flooding issues. And I guess the question is what's been done so far. And so I've kind of prepared a timeline of what we've done and what hasn't been done. Flooding that everyone's most concerned with occurred in end of July, 1st of August of 2013. By June 2014, an engineering study by Wilson Engineering had been Commission. And this was to analyze the extent of the rain event that caused the flooding, identify improvements that could mitigate the impact of future similar events, and project the cost of that mitigation. The study was completed in February of 2015 with several mitigation alternatives. There was expansion and creation of the detention locations that are available out there. Like the sinkhole down by K4 and actually everything west of Coronado would be considered a detention location. The main diversion channel ditch, modifications to that, widening it, deepening it. That was one of the primary recommendations. If we do that, then at that point you have to add additional box culverts under K4 to carry additional runoff. There's modification of box culverts under Coronado, basically to add the restrictor plates that we talked about. And then channel improvements east of Coronado, and remove the existing culverts under Garfield and install a new box culvert. Okay, just to remind you, the diversion channel modifications were $501,000. To increase the size of the sinkhole area by K4 was $45,000, and I know that doesn't include land acquisition. Highway 4 box culverts, $117,000. Increasing detention capabilities west of Coronado, $1,250,000. Channel improvements east of Coronado Avenue, $56,000. And box culverts at Garfield Street, $140,000. So this was what we ended up with out of our study, a total of $2,320,000 worth of expenditures, and at this point we had no money budgeted. Let alone if we could have budgeted, it wouldn't have been that much. So we wanted to accomplish something. We talked about it back then, and we didn't have any money available for stormwater, but we put off some project in streets, some acquisitions that we would have made, and we were able to get a design made for the restrictor plate project out on Coronado. We got a proposal agreed to in June of 2015, so we're almost 2 years into it, and we finally got a proposal to do our first thing. Well, on 1/11/16, I received a communication from the engineer stating that after analyzing the cost-benefit ratio of the plates, he could not rationalize the expenditure on the restrictor plates in relation to the benefit of replacing the culverts on Garfield. Both projects need to be done, but Garfield needs to be done first. So, again, we didn't have the money budgeted. Without enough money to pay for all the projects that have been identified for flood mitigation, council directed staff to gather information on the formation of stormwater utility. That information was presented to council in a study session on May 16th. As a result of that session, council directed staff to solicit a proposal for a feasibility study of a stormwater utility for the city. That proposal should be available for discussion in July of 2016. It's been a long process there. Money has always been the problem the whole way through. You know, we came up with a plan pretty quick, but you know, $2.5 million, that's hard to come by. I wish that we could have turned the spade on something, done something. Our street department has increased the maintenance that we've done on the diversion channel. We did a pretty major excavation project earlier this year. Took out many truckloads of dirt and cleaned the channel up. While we were out there, we discovered that a farmer had cut a ditch that bypassed our diversion channel and put water directly going over to West Swenson, Wells Fargo, so that it was a direct shot down the road ditch instead of going down the diversion channel. So I fixed that. Anyway, that's what we had done to date. I wish there was more project and less study, but
I would hope that you could take this information you've gleaned here and done nicely with, turn this over to our staff or yourself, and write a comprehensive article that we hope the news record would put in there that would say what we've been doing to date. I would hope that very much.
David, my question is,
Pardon me?
we have put, how many articles have we put in the Lindsborg? 2 or 3 at least?
Three, I think.
Three.
I found 3 when I went back in the last 2 years.
I mean, talking about everything that we're doing and,
I think that's right, but I don't think that's the same as it is. I think what we're doing is fine, it's not enough.
But we know that everybody with the Lindsborg address gets the Lindsborg city.
Sure.
That would be the advantage, not that it would hurt to put in the Lindsborg measure. But I have a question, but I think you answered it. When I did some research, I saw that we actually had $90,000 budgeted this year for part of the remediation. That was for the deflector plates.
restrictor plates.
The restrictor plates. And now the restrictor plates are what the engineer came back and said your return on investment doesn't make sense at this point in
Not
time.
until
Is that right?
Hartfield's been done.
Okay. And I would just like to say, I've always welcomed communication from people and to receive a letter signed by concerned citizens with no attribution to who it comes from. An anonymous letter doesn't help us communicate effectively with the public. And all of our addresses and phone numbers, best way to reach us, are published on the website. People know where we work, and I was disappointed receiving an anonymous letter. Maybe I'm alone in that. Maybe everybody sitting around this table thinks an anonymous letter is the best way to communicate with you as a council person.
I think it's reprehensible.
So, I like to think I'm more available than the author that penned that.
I would like to restate, I think it's important to also put it in.
Tim, anything else you want to add to that? Anything else going on?
No, I don't want anything more.
Okay. Any other questions of Tim or Greg or anybody while we're here? Corey, looks like you have a question.
Well, I'm just going to ask, with the last round of rain, we had quite a few rainy days in a row with some heavy rains, and how did the channels perform?
There was room for some of that water. We weren't saturated like we were in 2013. I'm glad it quit when it did. And then we'll come tonight, we're okay. The slew through town, we were very, monitored it very closely. And I actually do too, and it emptied out very quickly. That worked well. You know, we do try to go.
And it seemed to me that the author of the letter also, they said that we had a 5-inch rain on one day and a 4-inch rain on one day, on a previous day, but actually, didn't we have like a total of 17 inches? It's been a long time, I don't remember. What was the total amount of rainfall we had in that period?
28 inches in 21 days.
28 inches in 21 days.
And actually, the day of the flooding, we had rain coming down at 5 inches an hour.
So,
That's the rainfall rate.
so just as a reminder to listeners that we weren't talking about 9 inches of rain in 2 days, we were talking about 20 inches of rain in 21 days. That's a significant difference.
But, you know, that sequence of Friday when we got a big rain and then a warm rain through the weekend and then a big rain on Monday afternoon, I mean, it was a cumulative effect.
For sure.
And while the report was actually, actually received the first preliminary study in June of 14, wasn't it actually commissioned before that time? Because we have a preliminary report about June of 14, that it took them some time to put that information together, isn't that right?
It took that long to put together the contract for the work to be done.
But
We
June
did
of
not
14
get the
was
report.
actually the date we received the preliminary report, isn't that
I'm sorry,
right?
please start over.
Wasn't June 14 when we received the preliminary report?
No, We got the preliminary report about November of
November
14,
14, okay.
and the
Thank
final
you.
report of February of 15.
Thank you.
That was all contract negotiation in June that year.
Thank you.
Good questions. Anything else? Tim, thank you for your time and your research on that.
Sure.
We appreciate it. Chief?
About that. But while we're on that subject, I'd like to know, of course, the police department really had no idea that the water would flow uphill, at least what I thought was uphill. So it was a pretty big shock for us. So I think, from a police department standpoint or public safety, I think we're a lot more diligent in watching for that type of activity now. And we're a lot better at notifying city staff whenever we have issues or when we start to have large saturations. So I think we're doing a better job too of watching for that type of activity and reporting it to city staff. So just throwing that in there because I think that's important as well. But what I wanted to talk about basically was that I received an email today from Rural Development on the EMT building, and they finally received the papers today from our architect. So they'll be reviewing those papers. Like I said, there were quite a few, so we're going to review them and then also have the state architect look at the papers. And said that he would be notifying me later this week to let me know the status of the review. And we will be looking forward to moving to the next steps. So got that information today, so we'll see. I get excited and it's...
Tim, will the architect be reviewing the project? Are they overseeing the construction and all that as the quality control?
Yes.
It's part of the contract, they have to make weekly visits.
It does state in your timely weekly visits.
Yes.
So, and that's all I have. Thank you.
How's the new car?
I haven't been able to drive it.
Oh.
But we like it. It's
Yeah.
very nice. Very nice.
Installation, everything went well?
Yes.
Please.
Yes, very good. I encourage anyone to stop by and take a look at it. If you want to ride in it, it has to be in the back seat.
Let's not.
Study session next time, free rides.
Talk about a photo op.
And remember, if you get caught speeding or something, you get to support state cameras.
That's right.
Free rides. That's right. Item 12, other. Anybody have any others? I'm sorry.
Can I just add a comment from the weekend on other? It's not a future agenda item, but I just want to mention that there was a large golf tournament held this last weekend and brought 200 plus people to town. And my humble opinion, I thought the golf course looked remarkably good considering all the rain and the fact that we don't have a greenskeeper. And I just wanted to tip my hat to the staff that was mowing and got it looking really good. I just thought it showed really nice.
Good. Last thing I'll put out is on the last item, there was projects progress. So I think it's interesting to see, you can look chronologically what's going on. Please keep up on those as you go through your monthly reports. Any others? Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Say aye.
Aye.
All the same sign. Thank you all for coming.